Welcome Karen Ledgerwood, breast cancer survivor and member of the 2013 Celebration of Life dance team. Thank you for sharing your story. I understand you've been married for 43 years, since you were age 20. Was it love at first sight?
No, it was a blind date. My first week in college, and no, it was not love at first sight. Apparently it was for my husband though, because we only dated for about two years, and again, we were married when I was 20, and he had just graduated college. So.
And you said at one point that that he makes you laugh. After 43 years, does he still make you laugh?
Yes. In fact, yes. He always has something funny to say, and he's called me a stick in the mud at times, and but he does. He makes me laugh all the time, and he makes others laugh too. And he comes with me to all my appointments and everything, and he may say something to the receptionist that just makes her just bowl over in laughter. And it used to embarrass me, but that's just him, and I love him for it, and it's wonderful.
It's a good thing to have.
Yes.
You know, laughter in your life is a
Yes.
requirement, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you have children and grandchildren. How many?
Yes.
Tell me about them.
I have 3 children. My oldest son is Christopher, and he lives in Los Angeles. He and his wife have 2 little boys, Connor and Austin, and they have a wine business outside of LA, and so they'll probably stay in California for a long time.
Has it been a while since you've seen them?
It's been about, well, actually they came to see us last summer, and we're going to try and see them this summer as well. My oldest grandchild, Connor, is going to be in a baseball tournament in Cooperstown, New York, and I have a brother that lives up in New York, so we're going to try and combine the trip and see our son and our grandchildren, and a brother and a sister-in-law of mine. And my daughter is, Melissa is married, and they live in Midlothian. They have 2 little girls, Caitlin and Abby, who I see a lot. And they're wonderful, wonderful little girls. And
Spoiled rotten, I bet.
Well, they
Grandma
are.
spoiled them.
Yeah, but they've been a lifesaver this whole time too.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure.
And our youngest son, Scott, is married to Kelly, and they live in Richmond as well. So it's nice having 2 of my children within 15 minutes drive. So it's been very nice.
And I'm sure you're a great babysitter for them.
Yes, when I can, yes. In fact, I'm taking care of the girls tonight.
That'll keep you young, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
Grandchildren. Are your grandchildren very young?
Well, the boys are 11 and 8, and the girls are 7 and 5.
Oh yeah, very young. And your family's very important to you, I get a sense.
Absolutely. And I come from a very large family. I have 11 brothers and 1 sister.
Wow.
And we're all over the country, and they've all been extremely supportive through this whole thing. So,
when you were diagnosed with breast cancer, how was it found?
and I had just had a mammogram on a Friday, and it was a very uncomfortable one. And Friday night, discovered a lump in my breast, in my left breast. So called them, and they were trying to get in touch with me, in fact. And then on the next Tuesday I went for a repeat, and they did an ultrasound and discovered that it was not a cyst, that it was a solid mass. And then after that I went to see Dr. Pellicane, who did a biopsy in the office, and it was called on March 16th, 2011, I'll never forget, and said that it was cancer. So then I had a lumpectomy and a axillary dissection of the lymph nodes, and 14 of the 25 lymph nodes were positive. So not the best diagnosis, but went through chemo, radiation. And then, about a year later, I was having trouble with my eyes, and I had rheumatoid arthritis, and my ophthalmologist suggested that perhaps I might have some kind of an x-ray done of the optic area. And so he's the one that actually ordered the MRI, and that's when they found the brain lesions. So at that time, it was stage 4 with the brain cancer. And at this point, they're doing MRIs to monitor the growth of the lesions, and there's a procedure called gamma knife procedure that uses gamma radiation to hopefully destroy the lesions. And I've had my third gamma knife procedure so far. So it's just being monitored with MRI, and hopeful that we can control it. But it is stage 4, so.
So in 2 years,
Yes.
you've been diagnosed with, you went from wife, mother, grandmother, happy federal employee, to breast cancer survivor, stage 4 brain cancer. How
Yes.
do you do it? What keeps you going and and not make you give up?
This is not to say I don't have my downtime. We all have our little pity parties, as we call them, and I think that's necessary. I think we need to let it out sometimes. But I have a very, very strong faith, and my family is extremely supportive. My husband takes me to every treatment I have, every doctor's appointment, because I'm not driving as much as, well, I'm not driving at all lately. And my daughter has been there for everything that I could imagine. Meals, to help me with cleaning the house, laundry, you name it, she's been there. My son is also very, very, very supportive. So, and my siblings have been very supportive. So I think it's that family support that helps you. And why not try and live the most with what you've been given? I don't know how much time I have. Neither does anyone. But I try and make the best of what I have and try to live the fullest that I can with the time that I have.
How do you think your diagnosis has affected your family?
Oh, I think it's been, sometimes I think it's harder on family than it is the person that's been diagnosed. I really do, because they have the burden of that pain of possibly losing that loved one, and seeing me, in this case, go through all the chemo and the radiation and all the other things, that the medications that can sometimes just be really, really hard to take and devastating. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where my heart breaks is the most, is with my family. My husband is strong as can be, but I know deep down he's hurting inside, and I think that is really difficult for me, I think, knowing how my family is suffering as well.
What advice would you give a woman who's just been diagnosed with breast cancer?
Try and be positive, and hopefully she has a good group of physicians that are taking care of her, because that's what I felt was important too, to trust your physicians, and lean on your family for help. They're there to help you, friends are there to help you, and if they're like I am, sometimes I was always the person to do everything and not necessarily accept help. So just let people bring you dinner, let people help you and get you through this, but always think positive, and try and find support with other cancer-stricken women. I find the women that I know, the survivor group, the support group, they're such strong mm-hmm. women, and I think a new diagnosed person could readily find a lot of comfort and support with that, as well as their family.
Yeah, with the groups that I've met, I found that to be the case.
Yes.
They really bond, and they can relate to you in a way that nobody else really can.
We each have a different story.
Right.
Each of us is so different, but we all have a common ground. Mm-hmm. We want this fixed, so our daughters and our granddaughters don't have to go through this.
Are you concerned about your daughters and your granddaughters?
I am. Just being a mother and a grandmother, I would hate for anyone to go through what I've gone through. I mean, I admitted it's difficult. It's very difficult, and there's millions of us that are going through it, though, and I worry a little bit.
Now, shortly you're about to show off your amazing dance skills as part of the Celebration of Life dance team for the Pink Tie Gala. Did you lose your mind or something? Why did you agree to this? You agreed to this.
I know. I'm wondering where my brain was at the time. No,
Have you ever done anything like this before?
No, never.
So what do you think? Are you excited or are you more nervous?
I'm both, but probably a little bit more nervous at this point. I think if I get a few more lessons under my belt and get over that initial nervousness.
You've had one group lesson so
Yes.
far. So what did you think of it afterwards?
Well, at first I was pretty discouraged. It was very difficult. It was a West Coast swing, and to me it was difficult. There were a couple other ladies that are dance team members that were there, so that was good. We're grouping together, commiserating, right?
Yes.
No, the instructor, the other dancers that were there were very, very friendly, very nice, and understanding. There were probably 30 plus people there that evening, and so it was a nice crowd. But I think I had my work cut out for me.
Well, you're doing a waltz.
Yes.
And the performance is a waltz, which is a very nice dance,
Yes.
very pretty, very slow.
Right.
It won't be nearly as bad as the West Coast
right.
swing, but
I'm hoping
it'll
you're
be
right.
exciting. Now, your family will be there to see you dance?
Yes, my the two children that live here will be. The son in California probably will not be. My husband will be here. We've got some family friends that are coming. I have a girlfriend from 40 years ago that lives in Indiana that's flying out to see me.
That's
do
great.
this.
So you'll have a nice crew of people
Yes.
there cheering you on.
Yes,
So it'll
yes.
be great.
Yes.
Well, you are a totally inspiring woman. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you sharing your story with us. And I think that the information that you've been able to give will be of great help to other women that are going through the same process as you've already done. So thank you for sharing that.